Did you know that for this movie, it is based on one of Stephen King's first novels under his pseudonym, Richard Bachman? It's been a minute since I've seen a Stephen King adaptation. I've seen a few of his movies, and they are always very entertaining, very different. The Long Walk, like I said, apparently it's his first novel ever written. And the premise of it is actually really simple, and I was just really, my curiosity was piqued because I'm like, okay, all they're doing is really walking until there's one of them left. How are you going to turn this into something to intrigue people, inspire people, get an emotion out of people? And I gotta say, I walked out of the theater yesterday with my friend Jake, very happy with how good this movie was. There's a lot of great things I have to say about this movie. There's only one thing I didn't like, but that's just like a personal preference of mine, but I'll get into that at the very end of the review. First thing I liked the story and the pacing, no pun intended. Just like the story, it was very Hunger Games type deal, dystopian type deal. Hunger Games probably stole some inspiration from this idea. There's this grand reward at the end. You can get whatever wish you want. You just have to go through some extremely tough ordeal that's challenging you physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, all in the name of freedom and justice and work ethic, and because your government or whoever's in charge tells you it's the right thing to do, it's your duty. The stuff you hear over and over again talked about when it comes to like dystopian worlds. The thing is, I was like, okay, it's an hour and 48 minutes long, and we know that they're going to walk until there's only one of them left. Now, how are they going to do that without losing us, without boring us? I gotta say, really smart writing by Stephen King here. I've never doubted his writing skills ever. I've never heard this book before, so I was like, oh wow, this is something different, right? And it's a simple idea, simple concept, but Stephen King was able to put so many different things throughout this story to keep you interested in the lives of these boys walking walking. You start getting attached to these kids. It ended up really being a heart-wrenching movie, which was not what I was expecting. But then again, it's Stephen King, so you should expect something to just come out of nowhere and punch you in the gut. The characters, lots of lovable characters. For the most part, I know most people will probably really attach to Ray and to Pete. But I want to say a couple other characters that I actually really started cheering for, as we kept watching them progress and go through all these sorts of things and kind of open up, is I really wanted Hank to make it further than he did. I really liked Baker. I know the focus was mainly on like Ray and Pete and just how their backstories and why they're there, what wish they would want. I gotta say, man, the writing and the character arcs and developments for both characters from like the middle of the movie to the end, insane, like phenomenal writing. It was so good. Just seeing why they're really there, like especially Pete. Pete had some great lines. He had some great moments. He was really hitting Ray in the face with some truths. Like, why are you really here? Like, if any of us were in this situation, I think it's some real soul searching stuff. It's some real peel away every layer of yourself and see what you're really made of. See what you really are inspired by. See what you really want in life. Like, what is your biggest desire in life? What is the one wish that you wish could come true? And really, that tells you all you need to know about a person. If you asked every person there, why are you doing this? What's the one wish you would wish for? And it reveals a lot about a person's character too. And the brotherly bond that was formed throughout the course, so beautiful. It really made me emotional at certain points because you wish you could live in that moment. You wish they would just keep walking forever. They're eventually going to stop walking. One of them's going to give out, and there can only be one winner, unfortunately. And at that point, I kind of wanted both of them to win. I don't know if there has ever been a way of both of them to win, any alternate endings, any alternate whatever. And this you can do a lot of creativity, a lot of things to move around and think about with how the story goes, all these different variables at play, how things could end up going instead of how they did go. But it's up to the writer. Stephen King wanted to go a certain way, so it did. It's a pretty sadistic thing, honestly, what they're doing, but you have to believe in humanity in some degree what they're doing, and there's still some light in the darkness of all of this. And one character I always like seeing up on screen, I know he didn't have a ton of scenes, but whenever he did show up, it really went to show like he's that character you just hate with a passion, right? Mark Hamill's major character. Mark Hamill even said in an interview, this is the darkest character he's ever played. No soul, cold-hearted. He's almost like all the hate and anger and division and messed up stuff in the world is turned into a person. He is the incarnate being of all these different societal things, plus who he is as a person, just a very evil man. That's as simple as that. And really, the only thing I didn't like, and this is just a personal preference, the ending was not what I was expecting it to be. They were building up to like the possibility of it ending in this way, but I was kind of hoping that a certain character would kind of be the bigger man, be the better man, and not go the route that he did, and that his wish was something else. But like I said, maybe that's where, it'd be cool if there was like a director's cut or whatever, and they put alternate endings in there. Like some movies out there, like Clue and other movies, where you can put alternate endings, alternate wishes, whatever. Like you can. There's a lot of creativity, a lot of things you can do with this, but I would love to see it end a different way. That ending was just heartbreaking. It really, truly was. That's the only negative thing I had to say. Like I said, it's just a personal preference of mine. But man, I highly recommend check this movie out if you're a Stephen King fan. If you're a fan of movies like this, dystopian movies, it's a phenomenal movie. Definitely go out and check it out as soon as you possibly can. So for The Long Walk, I'm going to give a 7.5 out of 10 Mudflaps. And remember, leave me a thumbs up and drop in the comments below. What is your favorite Stephen King movie? See you soon.